试音123，123，试音123，123。
123，123，123，外交部，外交部，外交部。
同传试音，同传试音，谢谢。
123，123，123，外交部，外交部。
外交部试音123，外交部试音。
Good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference. Now I'd like to take your questions.
现发言人总台央视记者提问：据了解，南海安全圆桌对话。
The roundtable dialogue on South China Sea security was held in Hong Kong SAR on July the 13th, in which the representatives from the Chinese Foreign Ministry debunked relevant fallacies on the arbitral award. Can you share more details? Just as what the MFA representative said in the roundtable dialogue, the arbitration is in essence a political farce masqueraded as a legal process. A decade ago, as the so-called arbitral tribunal exceeded its authority and abused its jurisdiction, the award it rendered is illegal, null, and void. Over the past decade, more and more people of insight are clear-eyed on the essence of the arbitration. The practice of many countries, as well as the way international judicial bodies have dealt with relevant cases, also differs from the award. By neither accepting nor participating in the arbitration, and by neither accepting nor recognizing the award, China is upholding the international rule of law and the maritime order with concrete actions. The legal award will by no means change the history and facts that China exercises sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction over Nanhai Zhudao and its adjacent waters, will by no means shake China's resolve and will to safeguard sovereignty and maritime rights and interests, and will by no means influence China's policy and position that relevant disputes shall be solved by negotiation and consultation between parties directly concerned. China will continue working with regional countries for the peace and security in the South China Sea, as well as the prosperity and development in the region. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。深圳卫视执新闻记者提问：7月12号，爱沙尼。
Shenzhen TV. On July 12th, several European countries, including Estonia, Germany, Latvia, Lithuania, and Romania, joined the US and the Philippines in issuing a statement 10 years after the South China Sea Arbitral Award. The EU also released the statement. What would you like to say in response? The joint statements 10 years after the South China Sea Arbitration Award issued by the US and the Philippines together with several European countries plus the EU statement are a distortion of facts and acts of vilification against China. We deplore and reject them. The head of the Department of European Affairs of China's Foreign Ministry has lodged strong protests, respectively, with the heads of the diplomatic missions of the countries concerned and the EU delegation to China. China's sovereignty over Nanhai Zhudao and relevant rights and interests in the South China Sea were established in the long course of history and are solidly grounded in the law. China's position on the South China Sea arbitration is clear, consistent, and firm. To begin with, the tribunal, an ad hoc body patched up to serve a political agenda, has no authority or impartiality to speak of. The arbitration violates fundamental principles of international law. It is nothing but a stunt pulled by a handful of Western countries for the political purpose of containing China. China neither accepts nor recognizes the award and opposes and will never accept any claim or action arising from it. Certain European countries need to be reminded that blatantly applying double standards on issues relating to international law will only further erode their own credibility on the international stage and does not help deepen mutual trust between China and Europe. Europe is not a party in the South China Sea and is in no position to pass judgment on China's legitimate territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests in the South China Sea. We urge the European side to act prudently and stop endorsing the illegal award to avoid disrupting relations and cooperation with China. Next one, please.
Sorry.
The United States 美国宣布新的对伊朗的海上封锁，尽管中方多次表示了其立场，请问中方是否愿意参与之中的调解，以及中方会采取什么具体行动来推动这一进程？
请再重复一下你的问题。
Please repeat your question, please.美国宣布对伊朗实行海上制裁，尽管中方此前表示了反对，请问中方是否愿意采取具体的措施来应对此种情况？如果是的话，请问中方会采取哪些行动？
中方对海湾地区
China is deeply concerned over resumed military conflicts in the Gulf region. China calls on relevant parties to heed the strong call for peace and stability from the region and beyond, remain calm and exercise restraint, safeguard the hard-won ceasefire, avoid the return of war, and more importantly, prevent the fighting from spreading and hurting more innocent people. Respect for the lawful rights and interests of the coastal countries of the Strait of Hormuz and an early resumption of normal and safe passage at the strait is what the international community want to see. Relevant parties need to work in the same direction and seek a proper settlement. China will continue to act in line with the 4 propositions put forward by President Xi Jinping and make relentless efforts to de-escalate and stabilize the situation in the Middle East and the Gulf region. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人总台 CGTN 的提问。今天是坦赞铁。
Today marks the 50th anniversary of the operation of the Tazara Railway. How does China view its historic significance, and can share with us China's thoughts on the future of the Tazara Railway? The Tazara Railway is a landmark project of China-Africa friendship. More than 5 decades ago, despite great economic difficulties, China decided to offer assistance in building the Tazara Railway, demonstrating China's strong support for the national liberation and the development of regional countries. During the process, people from China, Tanzania, and Zambia worked shoulder to shoulder and forged the great Tazara spirit, a precious source of inspiration for future generations. In September 2024, President Xi Jinping, Tanzanian President Hassan, and Zambian President Hichilema jointly witnessed the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding on the revitalization project of the Tazara Railway, marking a new historic moment of the railway. In November 2025, when visiting Zambia, Premier Li Qiang, together with Zambian President Hichilema and Tanzanian Vice President Nchimbi, attended the groundbreaking ceremony of the Tazara revitalization project. The 3 sides released a joint statement on building the Tazara Railway Prosperity Belt. At this new historical starting point, China will work with both Tanzania and Zambia to advance the revitalization project and the Prosperity Belt, forge the railway into a path to freedom, development, friendship, happiness, green development, and harmony, contribute to the joint pursuit of modernization among the 3 countries and other regional countries, and inject sustained momentum into building an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era. Next one, please.
Sorry, I have a question from Reuters.
路透社，美籍华裔陈友林已被拘留在华近2年，并面临间谍罪指控。美国称陈友林是错误拘押，并且称中美元首之间正在就此进行讨论。请问外交部对此有何回应？以及中方如何回应为陈友林提供不足的食物等其他指控？
中国是
China is a country of law. The judicial authorities handle cases lawfully. There isn't the so-called wrongful detention. Next one, please.
Question from FS.
艾菲社上周，美国和巴拉圭宣布称，侦测到多个与中国有关的威胁行为体已经渗透了巴拉圭政府网络系统。昨天，巴拉圭政府一官员称，他们对此有充分的证据，以及中方对此有何评论？
China is against hacking and combat it in accordance with the law. We are firmly against politically motivated disinformation concerning cybersecurity. The United States has been conducting persistent and systemic cyber attacks globally. At the same time, out of geopolitical considerations, it has rallied regional countries for multiple times to slander China under the pretext of cybersecurity. China strongly deplores and firmly rejects this. Those regional countries involved should not be used as geopolitical tools and act as the accomplice of the U.S. government to spread the disinformation of China's so-called cyber attacks. Next one, please. Any more questions? That concludes today's press conference. Thank you for coming.